Copyright has hit me down. And here I am. Well, welcome to the Kino Corner. We talk about the very best in movies, news, and trailers from a certain point of view. As some of you may notice, I'm by myself today. That is partially by design, but it's there is a little bit of a conflict with the planned guest, but that's okay. We're gonna try to. There's a lot of things to discuss, and in lieu of discussion, try if we can lightning through a lot of these topics. As you can see on the bottom right, the main topic of the day is going to be Jurassic Park. We're going to talk about the main six Jurassic Park movies, not the shows like Camp Cretaceous and the like. Just gonna talk about all six movies, how I feel about them, and we'll go from there. But before any of that happens, as is tradition, before everything, we have to talk about recent movie news, talk about a few trailers that kind of hit the waves, and then talk about anything new we've seen recently. So let's start with movie news. Okay? All right. There was a lot going on this weekend with the Tudum, which is, if you don't know what Tudum is, it is a there's a lot of E3 style events like Disney has D23 and now Netflix has Tudum. It's basically this is well our upcoming projects for the next year kind of events. That is going to be the majority of like news and like, I think about half of the trailers to talk about, but I try to lump them all together. So, but before we get to that, let's talk about some of the lighter news we have in store first. We it was recently announced that A24 is set to make a live action adaptation of Death Stranding. I've said my thoughts about this style of movie making before. I will say it again. I whenever you make a movie out of a game that was already pretty much a movie, like the more cinematic the game is, the less impressive or important I feel it is to make a movie out of it. Like I so they're gonna make a Death Stranding movie. Is it gonna be good? Probably, but then again, that's kind of the bar, isn't it? Like they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. Like they have to make something extraordinary for it to stand out. I've yet to see anyone do that. In my experience, movies and shows like this are typically as good, if not almost as good, as the game, and in a lot of cases worse. Like that's all I really wanted to point out with this. The only thing that's going to be different about this one is A24 is doing it. Which A24, if you've been following them along, I think they're going to be the next big name, like the next big studio. Like we've had Warner Brothers, we've had Legendary, New Line, Universal. I think A24, because they're taking so many risks in these projects, I firmly believe A24. If they're not considered this already, they're basically solidifying themselves as like the next major studio to 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 just appear in the zeitgeist and it'll shape the film industry for years to come. Like I like some of their movies. I know several people who are super fans of A24, but no, definitely let me know y'all's thoughts about this. I don't have much to say about this other than I generally like the studio. Not the biggest fan of the concept because of what it entails, but yeah, that one's an easy bit of news to kind of cover here. Next bit of news. All right, I know this is there's a lot of things that's going to go over in the news and trailers that were big on some people's radars and a lot worth talking about. Hence why I'm going to try to lightning through a few things. They announced the cast for the upcoming Harry Potter reboot. I am gonna say this. Don't hate me. I don't care. I look at these kids and I'm like, yep, those are kids. Those are gonna be wizards. The I know there's a lot of like certain characters are being like different races and whatnot, and I know some people are upsetty spaghetti about that for dumb reasons. The only plausible argument I have heard for any of the characters to be played by a different actor is Severus Snape is being played by an African American gentleman. The only reason that that could be a problem that some people have pointed out is a lot of the scenes with Severus and Harry Potter's dad. But spoilers for the book, apparently, because Harry Potter's dad is kind of a bully and did some horrific things to Snape, including things like hanging him and things that are typically, yeah. This is not on my radar at all. All same reason as you. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. But like I said, the only one that I think maybe recast is the Severus Snape because some of the bullying scenes with like Harry's dad going to Snape are very tug your collar. Ugh. So they suddenly take a weird racist turn, considering the kind of things he's doing, like hangings and lynchings, basically. So like that, I think is a bit. But as far as every other casting in this, I truly don't care. I Harry Potter is not my thing. I have a deep level of respect for the movies because they committed to just keeping the actors for the entire series. That is a wonderful feat, and they should be respected for that. That's my stance on Harry Potter. I respect it. I just don't understand why it's as popular as it is when Lord of the Rings exists. I'm sorry, but this news is major. Like I could agree with it. Yeah, it's yeah. Like this news, a lot of people are very very up in arms about this for different reasons. I'm kind of oh let me see a trailer first. Like I've read the first few books of Harry Potter, didn't catch my interest. I've unfortunately seen all of the Harry Potter movies. I they're just not for me. A few of them I saw outside of my own will, but yeah, well. So I am gonna do everything I can to not see this show, but it's not because I hate the kids or hate the Harry Potter. It's just again, it's simply not for me. So when I hear the news that hey, we got the cast, and now Hermione is played by I think she's like a Brazilian actress. I forget, but and then I was like, neat. But that's all that is. But if you have stronger thoughts about the casting, some of it I get, most of it I really don't. But cross that bridge when we get there. I suppose we finally get a trailer for this. Oh, okay. All right. Now talking about things I actually care about. I hate this timeline. Okay. For those who don't know, we've discussed this in a previous episode of the podcast that Michael Bay is set to direct a skibbity toilet movie. Yeah, yeah. That there is no like we're in the worst timeline. But what I consider to be even more confusing news is well, you may notice there's another gentleman here. Another gentleman in the picture. Let's see, that is a person named Rob Legato. He did the VFX for movies like Lion King remake, Titanic, and Avatar, the one with the blue people. That guy is doing VFX for Skibbity Toilet. What world are we in? Like, imagine how weird that resume is going to end up looking. It's like, oh, you did some great movies here. You did the beautiful cinematic shots of Avatar. You did the great like all inspiring scenes of Titanic. You even did the great field views of the Lion King. What else did you do? Skibbity toilet. What? I, at this point, like it's now just a meme within itself. Like the movie is happening. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just every time I hear something about it, it gets more and more confusing. Like weirdly enough, Michael Bay is the name attached to it that I'm like, no, no, I get it. I saw the Transformers movies last episode we talked about him. I'm not saying he's the first person I would expect, but like I can see it. But Rob Legato, what? My guy, there's so many other movies that are, I assume, coming out that probably demand your attention, including some that we're getting trailers for. That are like, I would much rather this, but again, we'll get to that later. All I could say further about this is it is exceptionally confusing, and yeah, I'm. This is further confirmation that we are either in the worst timeline or the strangest timeline. But with that, let's see here. Okay. Now we begin everything about to do. There's a lot to go on. The last bits of news and the first bits of trailers are all relating to an event that happened yesterday. I tried to do a live stream of it. Some people on Twitch could, some people couldn't. There's some encoder settings that I don't know. So but but that's okay. Either way, there's a lot of things going on with Tudum, a lot of news for upcoming shows, a lot of new trailers, some of which look good. There's two trailers I'm going to tell you right now that I put here that I did not put in the trailer section. And that is, of course, Squid Game Season 3 and Stranger Things Season 5. Both for different reasons. For Stranger Things Season 5, it was mostly a lack of new information. Like, 99% of what we saw in the trailer was stuff that was confirmed from season 4. And the new shots are basically just icing on the cake of stuff we already knew. Like, there's more shots of the spoiler if you haven't seen Upside Down, but the thing that happens at the end of season 4, like, there's more shots of the result of that. If you know, you know. So, and of course, the Squid Game. The other reason I didn't include it is the trailer for season 3. Unlike the trailer for season 2, where like the only really carryover is the one main actor, this does feel like a part 2 to season 2. So many of the actors are the same, and it's difficult to really like say that we've watching the trailer doesn't create spoilers. So I want to avoid that. But I'm including them together because they are both part of a fun bit of news that I am weirdly enough happy to hear that during Tudum, Netflix confirmed multiple points that both of these were on their final season, and I think that's refreshing and interesting because we live in an age where everything is going to get another season or get canceled under the rug. Like it could be like even Netflix is bad about that. We're going to shadow cancel Inside Job, but then we're going to give Big Mouth 8 seasons and 2 spinoffs. And but lately Netflix is like we got to kill some of these shows. We got to kill some of these shows. And these are two of the big names. These are their money makers. So for them during this to say these are the last seasons, I see that as like a big move of Netflix saying, enjoy the last season because we're going to start committing to other projects big, including a lot of the things that we're going to talk about in the trailer that I think give. And one piece of news we're going to talk about that I think tells me where their direction is fully heading. And I think it's generally good for Netflix. But yeah, if you wanted to talk, if you wanted to see any of the trailers, I will. If you're listening to this via YouTube, In the link in the description, there's the playlist for the trailers, and I'm going to include the trailers for Squid Game season 3 and Stranger Things season or yes, Stranger Things season 5, Squid Game season 3. Blah blah blah. I thought I misspoke. I didn't. So they'll be included. I just didn't want to include them as their own slides because of there's so much information I can't talk about without spoilers, or there's just not enough information on one at all. That's that bit of news. So if you like both these shows, just know that last season. Oh, and they're releasing this year. So after 2026 and on, that's it. All right. Next bit of news. Yay. The One Piece live action. A lot of fans, including myself, were assuming a full trailer. We did not get a trailer. However, we did get the reveal of what Tony Tony Chopper looks like. If you've read One Piece and like watched the anime, read the manga, you know full well that Tony Tony Chopper was going to be a huge deal. I'm not convinced they're not gonna also have an actor to portray his other forms, but that's a bit spoilery. As far as how he acts in this form, which realistically he would be most of the time, they freaking nailed it. I Some people have said, "Where's his blue nose?" Like, granted, it's harder to see because of the lighting and just realistic proportions, but he does have the blue nose. That's kind of important to his character. They made him adorable as heck. They made his hat looks custom made and sewn together, which is more fitting if you know his backstory. And of course, they made him freaking adorable. Protect him at all costs. I am very much. The new season is gonna come out 2026. As for when 2026, I don't know. They wrapped up production a few months ago. So my best guess, if I were to give my best guess, if they're assuming they're going to do Tudum next year, and which would be May 31st, June 1st, around then, I would assume that One Piece season 2 would drop uh, February, March, or just in time for people to like watch the full season, and then during Tudum they'll officially announce season 3, and then to shadow drop later in the year, because if you follow Oda-san or Oda Sensei and One Piece news, there's more going on behind the scenes that Netflix isn't saying, but Oda's teasing. So I think we're not going to get much. If we get a trailer, it's going to be in the fall. It's going to be probably like October, November. I look forward to it. But yeah, again, that's if we get a trailer this year. But as for so I'm partially disappointed we didn't get a trailer. We didn't see more, but I'm just waiting patiently, and I look forward to seeing what the trailer looks like, because this gives me hope once again. This is going to be a fun, like not perfect, but fun and faithful adaptation. Which if this because season 1 caught everyone off guard. It's like, oh dang, that was actually decent. Season 2 is the real test here. If they can do that twice in a row, if they can go, well, dang, season 2 is still good. That's it. They're locked in. Like, I don't know what else they could do to convince people at that point. But yeah, let me know y'all's thoughts about that. As for the next piece of news, oh, that's it for the news. Wasn't a whole lot of news. Hold on a second. I have my notes here. Strange Things. Yeah, no, that's all the news. Lightning through the news because we have a few 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trailers to talk about. You heard me right. 8 trailers to talk about. Oh, okay. Grab my water. Let's start with this. Also, a Tudum. We're starting with the Tudum trailer, so we can kind of keep everything Tudum related in one big circle, like one big grouped area. Happy Gilmore 2. Everyone I've told about Happy Gilmore 2 has generally had the same immediate response. Is that like, why are they making a Happy Gilmore 2? And I kind of get I kind of get it. Happy Gilmore is one of those movies that like it worked in a microcosm. It wasn't like a timeless classic, but it was good and everything is like yeah, it was just kind of one of those family pictures that it served its purpose. It was a really funny movie. It never warranted they were interested in the sequel or had any immediate plans for it. And here we are decades later and Netflix is like, "What if we do it again?" I But then they showed the trailer to do. And y'all, I'm conflicted because for a movie that we're all confused why it exists, it looks as not bad as you can make this. Like this looks really funny. It looks like like traditional Adam Sandler funny. Like Happy Gilmore, Mr. Deeds funny. Like the good Adam Sandler movies. And then there's enough callbacks, but also there's a lot of heart. From what I could gather in the trailer, the plot seems to like I do miss old Adam Sandler. Yeah, like the from what I can gather in this trailer, the plot is basically Happy Gilmore. He pseudo retired from golfing. Like he's still his famous name and does like royalty checks, and sometimes I'll do stuff for the heck of it, but is generally done golfing. Um, after like he starts a family of his own with the woman from the first movie. Sometime later, he basically has two sons and a daughter. The daughter is super into ballet. He finds a way to basically get the money for her to go to basically ballet school. But of course, guess how he does it? I'll give you three guesses. Yep, you guessed right. Golf. So he's kind of back in the saddle, pulls a new caddy. Like there, of course, golf has changed a little bit over the years, but they play into the heart aspect of it. His relationship with his daughter a bit in the trailer. Like they emphasize that he is not doing this for him, despite what other people may think. He is strictly doing this to help his daughter. Like this is not something like he needs to do. He just doesn't want to disappoint his daughter. So he's willing to throw himself into the spotlight and make a fool out of himself again for his daughter. That little bit of heart combined with the Adam Sandler humor from like early Adam Sandler, I think are the two main elements, like them mixing together as to why this trailer actually looks pretty decent. Yep, sounds like an Adam Sandler movie. Yep, yeah. Like it sounds uncomplicated, but still enough drama, enough heart, and enough comedy to pass through. Like that's Adam Sandler's a funny guy. I will readily defend Eight Crazy Nights. It's not that bad, but he does have his less than stellar movies, especially recently. But now this one, no, like it does seem like the same style as some like Longest Yard or I said it before, Mr. Deeds. It looks funny. Also, very happy to see the squad back together. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like the cameos in this trailer are aplenty. Characters from the first movie, new cameos. They even had John Lovitz, who most of us were like, he's not dead when they showed him at Tudum doing like interview questions for the movie, which tells me he's going to be in the movie in some degree. Like this looks very fun, like a great time to be had by all. Honestly, like it is one of the like I really recommend watching the trailer, even if you have reservations about the very idea of Happy Gilmore 2. Watch the trailer because it's almost confusing how not Pardon my French, but it's almost confusing how not shitty this looks. With that, move on to okay, Wake Up Dead Man. I missed the first part of this trailer slash first part of the announcement at Tudum where they mentioned that what series this was a part of. So like after I watched the whole bit tied to this movie, which was a funny bit. I was cackling. Everyone else hated it. Basically, they had everyone in the cast. They would basically like, go one by one, and someone would say like, "And no one can interrupt the stage." So someone walks on stage, but that's where you're wrong. Dun, dun, dun. And they would just keep interrupting each other or one upping each other in some way. I was like, "Oh, one thing's for sure: there's no other surprises, like no surprise we found on stage." Mila Kunis in the seats in front of her. Well, that's where you're wrong. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, repeat ad nauseum 10 times. Like 10 times they did that joke. I think my favorite was, oh sorry, and we would pass the mic to Daniel Craig for one last gag, but he couldn't be here. But that's where you're wrong. He walks on stage in sweatpants. Dun, dun, dun. But this is a movie. It's the third movie in the series. If you've seen the movie Knives Out, great movie. It's on Netflix. Amazing mystery. And its sequel, Glass Onion, I like just as much as Knives Out. I really don't know which one I like more. They're both very good. So having this one basically like a church theme that tells me that there is going to be a lot more comedy than the trailer fully lets on about. That's kind of how these movies go. Like they have very serious mystery, but they sprinkle in this kind of surreal comedy. Like it's almost British comedy. Well, it makes sense because name credit, but it's very dry, but also super out there and weird. But I love these movies for that. So there's not much else I could say about it other than go watch that trailer. Like there's not much together than knowing it's part what series it's a part of. And if you haven't seen them yet, watch Knives Out, watch Glass Onion. They're amazing movies. Super funny. You get to see Dave Batista as a Twitch streamer. I didn't get to see the second one, but Knives Out was so good. Oh yeah, if you've seen Knives Out, like Glass Onion to me is as good. It's just as good, at least. I really don't know which one I like more. I like they but now that I know this is part of like the Knives Out series and that's what Netflix is doing, like yeah. Oh, best viewers at Streamboo. Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and just get that out of here. All right. Oh yeah. Well, Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out story. Trailer looks amazing. Definitely go watch the trailer. And if you haven't yet, watch Knives Out, watch Glass Onion. Funny, great movies. Now, getting to the real shit. Guillermo del Toro is making Frankenstein. Victor Frankenstein is played by Oscar Isaac. Y'all, this movie looks amazing. Guillermo del Toro is about to take the dark universe that Universal was trying to do and just kick it to the curb with one movie. I can tell. Because, oh my god, the visuals in this trailer, the atmosphere in this trailer. Yes, it's Del Toro. It is a Del Toro Frankenstein movie starring Oscar Isaac. Everything about that sentence is just mwah, chef's kiss. Get, ah, the full trailer was released at Doom. It's on YouTube right now. It'll be linked in the playlist below if you're watching on YouTube. But it is just chef's kiss. Like apparently there's gonna be a few I guess additions or tweaks to the original story. Like there's gonna be some scenes in the Arctic, something on a boat. But again, like we know the basics of the Frankenstein monster. Like we know the broad strokes. And I trust Del Toro with almost any project, if it, especially if a monster is involved. If a monster is involved, Del Toro can touch. I think Del Toro can do his thing. So, and apparently he revealed it to Doom that this is a project he's been trying to do for years, and like he wanted to make sure he had the right people and had done the right way. So he tried to emphasize this is apparently a passion project, which puts a little bit of pressure on it, not gonna lie. But again, it's Del Toro. It's probably going to be amazing. The trailer looks so good. Like Oscar Isaac, if you've seen Moon Knight, you know the acting range this goober has. So I have no trouble at all believing Oscar Isaac would play an amazing Victor Frankenstein. But it's all going to come down to just what does the monster look like, how does it act, because the big twist in the trailer, the big reveal ish, yes, the big reveal ish is the you see a cloaked figure which is obviously Frankenstein's monster. I guess taking him from a boat and like I don't know if he's saving him or just searching for him. Like there's a lot of context missing, but I like that. Like I don't know what's being changed in the story, but we basically just him grab Victor Frankenstein and just give a low humming Victor. Like it's like like muffled growl, like Victor, like he's trying to say, like it's like they did a good job of making it so this guy clearly has trouble saying words, kind of thing. But no, I it's coming out. The only bad thing about this is it's coming out in November. And when I saw it, I was like, no, it was right there for a Halloween release. Dang it! I wish it was coming out in October, but no, this November we're getting Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein on Netflix. I I am excited beyond belief for this, and I hope y'all are too. Now, next thing. Okay, speaking of horror, that's it for all the stuff from Tudum. Like I said, that's everything from Tudum. So there's a few more things unrelated. Some came out around the time of Tudum, but the last trailers are gonna get a little weird. So let's try to go through them real quick. Now, welcome to Derry. Uh, Stephen King. Basically, it's the prequel series to It. Basically, what's going on with the clown years prior. Like I think this is early 1900s. I honestly forget when this takes place. Like I think, I think. Don't quote me on this. I think it's 50s. Every 27 years, 1998, 52 years after that would be 40. So it's either late 40s or early 70s because prequels are always hit or miss. They're always hit or miss. This looks pretty good though, and I know one thing they almost didn't get was Skarsgård is returning to play Pennywise for some amount of scenes we don't know. So the same Pennywise from the movies is coming back to reprise Pennywise in the prequel show. So that's a great sign. Like we do get to see a little subtle shot of him. Yeah, like yes, they almost didn't get Skarsgård, but they basically just pulled everything and just like no, this is the work we need you here for the Pennywise scenes, and they got him. They almost didn't, but they got him, and I'm glad they fought for it. That like any studio, any filmmaker who goes to those lengths, puts out extra money, and fights a little extra hard for the integrity and consistency of their film, especially if that they have doing a sequel or prequel, it's only a good thing. So But this already looks good. But knowing that they pull a little bit of extra effort to make sure certain actors at certain locations are available for accuracy's sake, it it makes me happy. It does my heart good. I will watch this series, maybe not day one. I might wait to binge this. Wait, so I guess it's gonna focus more on the trauma and Pennywise is the underlying major problem. That seems to be the case. Like like it seemed to focus on like how the kids deal with it, and we all need to prepare. This show, it's very possible, might not have a happy ending because this is happening before the 90s. This is happening before the Losers Club. So whatever happens, Pennywise, even if they temporarily get rid of him, Pennywise will still be around. Whatever solution, if they think of a solution, it's going to be temporary. So it's all for this. It's all about the journey. So I think this is just going to be an exploration on how they dealt with Pennywise beforehand, how this kind of generational trauma starts and affected earlier generations. It's going to be this whole show is going to be a big sip oof juice if done right. Like, and I mean that in the best way possible. It's going to explore some heavy issues, and I'm here for it. That's like I might be something I want to like binge. Maybe I might watch the first episode or two when they come out, and then see if I want to wait to binge it or just take it episode by episode. If it is like a really heavy topic thing, but of course we'll see. Now, okay, this film caught me off guard, and I'd imagine if you're watching this right now, you have no idea. Same, I do love train. Yeah. But if you're looking at this image, then you probably have no idea what you're looking at. Well, that's one of the thumbnails for this trailer. This is a family adventure movie with very light, and I mean very light horror elements called Sketch. Basically, you have this family. You have this daughter, this slightly older brother, and the dad going through. The mom isn't there anymore. The trailer will make it pretty clear what's going on. Uh, but of course, the girl is processing this grief in the only way she knows how. Like she's given a notebook, she likes to draw. And she's not hiding her emotions or anything. She's like just trying to like use it as an outlet. And she draws a whole bunch of weird shit. Like at one point it shows her looking at her dad and like she just drew like a bunch of eyeballs with spider legs and you're like, look, Dad, eiders. And the dad's like, yeah, because like how do you respond to that? Like you're not likes to draw, but sometimes like you could tell he's trying, but he just doesn't know how to process or react to some of the things she's draw. Like, is she trying to be make something scary, or does she think it's cute? You could tell there's something there. Now, at some point in the movie, so she has this notebook full of sketches of just weird creatures and things. At some point, her and the brother go on a walk in the woods. They discover a lake that I am going to assume is magic, and the notebook falls in the water. They retrieve it, but everything's weird, and basically all of her sketches come to life. Every single one. Notebook full of sketches from a 7-year-old girl with grief. All come to life and just start doing stuff. And that's the movie. The heavy focus is just how to deal with your grief through the correct outlet. That's why it seems to be a very trauma focused movie. That's why I say it's light horror, so it might go through some very heavy topics, but it's not going to necessarily like show anything traditional horror related. Like this. I don't think it's gonna. This is gonna show blood. This isn't like Mr. Crocker's World or anything like that, where like you're just subverting a genre and trying to make all these weird characters kill people. I don't think that's the point of this. I think first, like I think there could be light horror from like heavy themes and it's very possible some characters may die to these sketches, but it's going to be played like off screen, or they're not going to show blood. It's just going to be a simple, like maybe this blue thing just steps on someone, just and just smashes them, or just eats someone and you never see him again. So it's like light. It won't show blood, but it might show the action. Like, and that's even maybe, but unlikely, because first and foremost, and you can tell from the trailer, this is, or at least there will be, a family movie. This is going to be something like for both kids and adults. So it's not going, no matter how scary it is, it's at the very least, it's not going to show explicit material. But that being said, it looks charming as hell. Oh my gosh, this movie, it makes me upset that it almost went under the radar because I just saw this randomly on YouTube and it looks so good, y'all. Like it's you love gateway. It could be a gateway horror movie. It could be a gateway horror movie. Like, and again, I'm only saying that because of the concept. This might not be a horror at all. This could be a straight up family movie. It's just I get a you watch, maybe, and I could be able to thinking this, but if you watch the trailer, like I get a vibe that it's going to be first and foremost a family movie, a family adventure movie, or a family fantasy adventure with very light horror elements. That's the impression I get. But maybe you get something else. I encourage everyone, watch this trailer. This movie comes out August 6th. I'm probably going to go see it in theaters. It looks like a fun time. Yeah. Now, now looking at the list of things I have here. All right, we got a few things. All right, here we go. Shift gears a little bit. All right, we got the the opening credit crawl, basically the opener for King of the Hill reboot, and I see what Bobby looks like all grown up, and my only thought is I don't know what I expected. Like, like I just see it's like I don't know. Like at the King of the Hill, the most Texan anime ever was getting the reboot, and yeah, I'm putting this in the trailer section, even though we only got the opener for two reasons. One is that opener kind of serves as a trailer of sorts because we get to see what everyone is up to and what everyone looks like. But two, there is technically a trailer abound. I don't want to talk too much until it becomes publicly available. But apparently, during some events at recent panels and recent conventions, people got private shows of the official trailer for this. I've seen a clip of that trailer that looks funny as heck. And they does seem like they got all or at least most of the returning cast. Like the one clip from the trailer I saw is like it shows Hank, Bill, Dale, and Boomhauer in the alley drinking beer, and then Peggy is there, and Dale's just staring at her, and after a brief moment, goes, "What are you doing here, Peggy?" And she just pulls out. I was like, "I am 65. I have nothing to do, and I want to enjoy myself." Cracks a beer. A few seconds later, go inside. He's not even drinking. He's just staring at her. That's the only clip of the trailer I've seen. But so we could get it if we get a full trailer. I'm gonna talk about this again because like it exists. It's just anything beyond that, I feel disingenuous. I feel weird to talk about. But this kind of gives us a good look at what all the characters looks like. The angle they're going with is apparently Hank and the family moved away for a few years, and then they came back. So I guess they're doing that to incorporate a fish out of water thing, which works. I think it works. I mean, I'm sure when Hank and them are away for a while, things definitely change. Certain people don't. Cough, cough, Bill. But but no, like I am excited for this new season. I it feels it feels from what little like I'm officially seeing about this, it feels like a true to form continuation with the same love and passion as King of the Hill. Time will tell though. But as I mentioned last time with the Zero, like this could like for a while we didn't get anything, and now we're starting to get like trickles of even more information at an increasing rate. So for all we know, this could shadow drop in about a week or two. We don't know. Well, we'll see. The most Texan anime ever is upon us, and we'll go for there. But speaking of anime, y'all want to talk about a weird timeline we were in? What you're looking at now is something called Tom and Jerry Goko. It is a short form miniseries produced by. Uh, oh gosh, what is this timeline? It, it's basically the Tom and Jerry anime. There's like I don't know what else to call it. But it's basically gonna be a short series going through the adventures of the frenemies Tom and Jerry. And on one hand, the slapstick looks traditional, but uh, on the other hand, I I don't know. And apparently, this show apparently is not a new thing. This apparently has been going on in Japan and debuted there in 2022 for what's called the Cheese Day celebration. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, all these are now coming to America. It just I don't even know what to say about this beyond it. Tom and Jerry anime wasn't on my 2025 bingo card. Anime is taking over the world in every single way. It's I yeah. There's nothing I could say to make this. You're gonna feel a certain way about this, and there's nothing I could say that can either sway your opinion to make it feel better or worse. Okay, I'll be more likely to watch this than this could be told movie. Yeah, like it's coming to YouTube. It's gonna be a free short form series because it aired a while ago at Cartoon Network Japan. So they're bring the general announcement and the trailer is meant to point out they're bringing the miniseries in its entirety to American YouTube through official channels. So it'll be there to watch whenever you want. So that's cool. But like there's nothing about the like if you see this trailer, you're gonna either think looks so cutesy and fun and love the concept and be like, oh boy, Tom and Jerry anime, let's do this. Or you're gonna be like me and be like so flabbergasted and confused about why? What? And I don't feel there's anything I could say about the plot. It looks like a Tom and Jerry cartoon in this chibi art style, which is good. That's probably what it should look like. A lot of the slapstick is very reminiscent of the old like Tex Avery days and like but yeah, we are in a weird timeline. So now last trailer to talk about. There we go. This one is another big one that just with Harry Potter news that almost flew under the radar with all the Tudum stuff and everything that came right after it. That is, we got a teaser trailer for Zootopia 2. I normally don't do teasers if they don't give a lot of information. This one gave a lot of information. Not enough to spoil the movie, but enough to give a potential general premise. Unfortunate. What's unfortunate, BP? No, but it's basically what this seems to be, and I'm going off of the teaser and a lot of context clues they were in. But it seems that this snake character, this new snake character, was wrongfully accused of something, or and of course Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde. Oh, I just meant when the teaser gives too much info. Oh yeah, yeah. This didn't give too much info. It potentially gave the premise without spoiling details. Like this would be like if a teaser for Jurassic Park made it very clear they're going to a park full of dinosaurs made by like Dr. Hammond and his team. That's like a maybe that's like a small fraction of everything that happens in that movie. You now know the plot. It you're reading the back of the box at this point. You're not going to get the full story. It feels like we almost have that much information from the teaser. That's why it feels like a good trailer. But yeah, it seems like just looking at context clues, the snake character was accused of something wrongfully. At least he says so. Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde believe him, but in defending him, they've basically ostracized themselves from the rest of the cops. Hence, the cops chasing them as well as the snake. And then it cut to a few shots of more of Zootopia, exploring different areas of the city we didn't previously, and introduce this weird cloaked shadowy character, which is probably the real criminal. That's it. That's the teaser. So I think we get the general premise of the movie, but there's a lot of details that we can still learn about. A lot of characters they like tease, but we still don't know anything about. There's still a lot to learn about this movie, and I liked Zootopia. I am excited to see this. So like I'm ready to see a full trailer, but we'll see what happens with this. Yeah. Yeah, let me know what y'all are excited about. But it's a good little teaser. Yeah. Now, new and recent films, and I hate to pad this time a little bit again, but I got not one, not two, but three things I saw in the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna lightning through them. All right, first one, just because I could get through quickly. Beetlejuice. Finally saw it on Netflix. All I'm gonna say about it is, if you like the original Beetlejuice from the '90s, you're gonna like this one. It's not as funny, but it's still funny. It's still that same style of humor. It's still just as weird. They did everything in their power to keep the effects just as accurate to what it was in the '90s. So I respect this movie greatly. It gave me a few laughs. Fun movie to watch. Very simple, very straightforward, fun family film. If you have Netflix, watch Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, fun time. All I'll say about that. Now, change gears a little bit for the next two. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a sandwich because I'm gonna start with one thing I have mixed thoughts about, and then end with something I love. Lilo and Stitch. Okay, there's a lot of conflicted opinions on the internet about the Lilo and Stitch remake. I half agree with what a majority of people say, or rather, I agree with half of the things a majority of the people say. Some of the things people are taking, I think, is too far. I don't believe this is the worst Disney remake. I personally think Mulan is worse because it just wasn't Mulan. I don't know what that movie was, but it wasn't Mulan. They might as well have just made a no movie altogether. This one, at least, is still Lilo and Stitch. That being said, if you've seen the movie or read anything about it, I won't go too heavy into spoilers, at least not on podcast. If you catch me outside of, I've only heard a few things. I will say major things were changed. So if you see a lot of people claiming certain characters were removed, or certain scenes were changed, or certain dynamics were changed, Probably true because there was a lot of things that were changed for this. And your feelings about that are going to determine your feelings on the movie. Like there's one change, one major change they made that when I really think about it, I don't think I necessarily have a problem with. It's and but the other major change they do, I'm kind of with the crowd. The more I think about it, the worse it sits with me. Just especially when you take everything in context with this movie, it doesn't feel right. So many things were changed and it just kind of snowballed out of control. But it's not the worst, but like I the negative the negative reception this is getting is I hope that after Snow White lost money and then there's only been negative reviews about this one, that Disney will stop remaking things in this dumb way. It's not we're not saying you can't do these live action remakes, but if you absolutely have to, do them right. Because yeah, I said it before, I'll say it again. Like I don't think there's this universal rule that Disney remakes are bad. So far, every Disney remake I've seen has done one thing, or did one addition that was good. Even Mulan. Mulan had an actual character behind the Mongol leader dude. So he actually had like he was actually a person and not just this nameless force. Like I think creating a human on the other side of the conflict does, in a weird way, further humanize Mulan because she's able to empathize but still do what is right for her country. It makes her more conflicted but also more heroic. So I think that general change giving him a few more scenes, but not much, just a few more they did. Good idea. Lilo and Stitch is no exception. Uh, from the time that Lilo adopts Stitch to the beach scene where all the hoopla happens, they added more time. There's more scenes with Lilo and Stitch together. So like that extra bit of time to further it, some people will say like, oh, that's just padding. It's necessary padding though. We're able to spend more time with them just together as like, well, they're Lilo and Stitch. They're best friends for life. So seeing, and it also has a double effect of making this change in Stitch to be actually appear good. It makes it more natural. It makes it feel more organic. So putting that extra bit of padded time there, I think, was like the only choice in the remake I could say with 100% certainty was a good addition. Everything else, though, at the very least, comes with a big asterisk. And I won't go into spoilers. Like, at least not on the show. If you want to talk about this after the fact, I'll talk shit. I'll talk shop, but I won't do it on the podcast. It is worth the watch, but it's worth it. But I don't know if I recommend it in theaters. Wait for it to get on Disney Plus. If you really want to see it on Disney Plus. Because yeah, it's uh or better yet, just watch the animated movie. I'm sorry, the animated all this movie showed me is like there's only like if they changed exactly two scenes in the animated movie, it would have made it even more perfect. One, like I said, the extra scenes in the beginning, or extra scenes between the adoption to show a little more time of Lilo hanging out with Stitch, make that change feel more gradual, show them having fun. A few more scenes there, an extra minute or so would not have hurt the film, might have even helped the pacing. And the other thing is a small nitpick I have with the Grand Council women and a line she had, and just her lines at the beginning and the end of the movie don't seem to mesh. Isn't there a Stitch anime? Just watch that. There is, and apparently that has more heart than this because at one point Stitch comes across Lilo all grown up, and they have their own little moment, and it's adorable. I don't know. There's a lot, like everything. watch something Lilo and Stitch that isn't the live action, and if you have to watch it, wait for the what's it called? Wait for the the streaming service. Now, without going too much into detail on that, the other thing I watched recently, the last thing I'm going to talk before we get to our main topic of the night, that of course being Jurassic World. Like I said, I'm by myself here, so I'm trying to lightning through most of this stuff for y'all. I got you. Uh, that would be there's a show on Paramount called Tulsa King. I know, so different than everything I talk about. Like I mean, I'm the monster movie guy, but it is a show that I've seen in clips, and I thought like, oh, this looks fun. It's Sylvester Stallone as a mob boss from New York or a capo. Through reasons I won't get into because well, spoilers, he is sent to Tulsa. That it's pseudo banishment, but it's complicated. Watch the show. Basically, he has to establish himself for the family. And he decides, screw that, I'm going to make Tulsa my territory. Shit happens. Basically, shit happens. But it's basically the story of his rise and fall and rise again and dealing with the complications of his family, friends, and other stuff in Tulsa as he builds an empire. It's a very good show. Like I when I think of like faults with the show, I can only think of like one scene in the very first episode. I really feel like an extra few seconds was cut. So like there's it really like one second these two characters are shouting at each other and like snapping the finger. They're agreeable like sure man, I'll just go over it for you later. Like a few seconds of pause to show he's processing and planning, and then doing that scene would have gone a long fucking way. Like, just, but outside of that scene being weird, it's a great show. Like the actors are charming. Like the like Sylvester Stallone plays a really good mob boss. He really does. I if you want something different to watch, you have access to Paramount. Tulsa King, man. It's a it's worth it for a watch. Yeah. Take a little sippy of my drink. But with that, ooh, like now that I'm by myself, I'm not waiting for a pleasure thing. I am fast talking. I'm burning the midnight oil. Burn through all that news very quickly. We got through it, BP. We got through it. But now, main event time. Jurassic Park spared no expense. Ooh, I take this time to talk about the the three Jurassic Park, three Jurassic World movies, if you want to get pedantic. My general thoughts on those. Now, why today? Now, initially, I wanted to take off. If those of you keeping track of previous episodes, I wanted to take Jurassic World off the wheel to do it either the week before or the week after I saw Rebirth, so I could just do everything at once. I'm still going to talk about Rebirth, but last week on the wheel, good old fate kicked in and just decided, hey, you're going to talk about Jurassic World, are you like it or not? Well, dang it! But then I had a little a friend of mine point out today is one of those, but you kept talking about it, and fate shows it. Fate, yeah. It's more like karma chose it. I did while editing. I watched what I said again, listened to what exactly I said that could have tempted fate there, and all I really said was like, I'm gonna be fair, leave it on the wheel one time, but after this, I'm taking it off. That's basically all I said because I made it clear what I wanted to do, and then karma's like, nuh but it is Providence that it's talking about today because as a friend pointed out, it's National Dinosaur Day. Gonna drink this here water. So, yeah, here we are. Uh, I guess the best way to take it is movie by movie because there while the quality does shift between movies, and I have general thoughts on like which one is the worst, or which one is the least good, I should say. I generally love all of them for different reasons. The obviously the first one, classic. It it shaped the landscape of film and what you could do with practical and computer effects. Steven Spielberg just made one of the greatest movies ever with Jurassic Park. Everyone, yeah, the definition of iconic. There's not much I can say. Like it obviously doesn't follow the Michael Crichton novel, but as Steven Spielberg wanted, it follows parts of it, and yeah. But the other parts of the Michael Crichton novel were then adapted to its sequel, The Lost World. The Lost World I don't see as good as Jurassic Park, but it's still really good. Like it's better than you remember. Hell, even Owen Wilson is funny in that movie. And Owen Wilson is so hit or miss in his comedy because he has that dry style of humor. Like, and I don't mean like fun and British dry. He's just like very monotone. Like, oh yeah, I'm definitely sarcastic. Yep. Like he's deliberately telling you he's sarcastic is the best way I can explain it. But it even that weird style of humor works. He does it well in this movie. It has some of the most iconic deaths, like dinosaur and human deaths in the series. It has a T Rex running through L.A. Like Lost World and Jurassic Park. I think you're confusing Owen. Who am I confusing him with? Hold on a second. Oh, is Owen Wilson the blonde one? Hold on a second. Who am I confusing Owen Wilson with? Vince Vaughn. Okay. Okay. Yeah, his character. Okay, that's why I'm confusing him. His character's name is Nick Van Owen. Owen Wilson is the blonde one with the nose. Vince Vaughn is the one he's usually paired with, and his character's name is Owen. Everything I said, I still maintains. I just mixed up their names. So, yeah. No, Vince Vaughn, like even he's funny as heck in Lost World. Like he doesn't get the most scenes compared to Jeff Goldblum, but I mean, it's Jeff frickin' Goldblum. You gotta give him the best scenes of the movie. Chaos Theory. Uh, Now the first movie of the list that I personally I understand why people say it's the worst Jurassic Park movie. I technically agree. It's Jurassic Park 3. I don't hate Jurassic Park 3. However, just because you give something the title the worst blank doesn't mean that it's bad. It all depends on what you're comparing it to. Jurassic Park 3 is the worst Jurassic Park movie, but like yeah, you're comparing it to some of the best films. Like Jurassic World was better than Jurassic Park 3. Yeah, Dominion and Extinction. I liked Extinction more than Jurassic Park 3. Dominion, barely more. That's just personal taste. But Jurassic Park 3, yeah, it's dumb. It's silly. It has some actors I'm kind of annoyed by, some characters I love. I'm generally positive on it. So like if I were to rate it, it'd be a B. So like by that standard, I like the Spinosaurus and the Raptors, but JP3 is my least favorite one. Yeah, like by that standard, it's like yeah, like there's things I like on it, nothing I particularly like love in it. Oh, maybe the Spinosaurus because the animatronic scenes of the Spino are just like the plane scene in the beginning. Oh, talk about iconic Jurassic Park scenes. But the it, I understand why people have this impulse to say it's bad, but I think that relates to something that's affecting a lot of fandoms nowadays. Whenever something, especially with sequels, just because it's not as good as the one that came before it doesn't mean it's the worst thing to exist. Like I do my pet peeves when things don't get judged fairly. Like if something is bad, analyze why it's bad. If something is good, understand why it's good. Like I hate gatekeeping. I hate a lot of stuff. Like all this blind, just like oh Jurassic Park 3 sucks, and the repeating of the Alan meme and as some weird pseudo justification for why it sucks. I don't. It kind of goes over the good things that are in it. Jurassic Park 3 had a child actor that was really good. Although Jurassic Park are awful about that. Yeah, it's like you can criticize every movie for something. But and if something is a bad movie, you still have to acknowledge the good things it did. Like Jurassic Park 3 is technically not as good as its predecessors. However, it still has very good effects. It has a one of the better child actors in the whole series. Don't at me on that. Actually, I think he straight up is like the best child actor in the whole series. Don't at me on that. It has the return of just Alan Grant, and oh man, that actor could do no wrong. Oh, but even with you have like the other characters, which were kind of, well, to say it, annoying. It doesn't change the fact that they had a few annoying characters, two really good characters, some decent dinosaur effects, and a premise that's believable. Well, believable enough. Like, well, I don't want to say believable, like, oh, this would happen in real world. It's believable within the confines of its own story. That's something that I don't necessarily know about, like where the Jurassic films or Jurassic World films now are heading. Like Jurassic Park, the park shut down. Lost World, hey, they're trying to do the nature preserve. We sent some people to analyze species, fight some poachers, and get the people out. All right, shit went south. People dinosaurs are on land now. Makes sense. Jurassic Park 3, the island is now a dead zone. No one can go there. But stupid rich people with connections still go there on the beach just to hang out in an exclusive area resort. Some people get trapped, so even more rich, stupid people, or formerly rich, stupid people, to retrieve their kids, hence why they're so damn annoying. No, I totally believe that would happen. I live in the real world. I know people are that stupid. So it's a believable enough premise. It's it's got great child actors, got great dinosaur effects. Like it's one of the only films that every film strives to have unique raptors, I feel. But let's be honest, there's only three raptors you could think of when you uniquely think of Jurassic Park raptors. One is the ones from the first movie, that's the because of the kitchen scene. Two is Blue. Actually, and nowadays I think Blue is the first one you're going to think of. But then third, you think of the ones from Jurassic Park 3 because they have those little frill things in the back of their head. It's a little change, but it's enough to make them distinct. But that's kind of the best way I could think about Jurassic Park 3 is it's not as good, but it feels more distinct and more its own thing than even some of the Jurassic World movies. So yeah, it's not as good, but it's definitely respectable and has some good things to it. Which then brings you to Jurassic World. I think if you're gonna do a new or revive a series after so long, Jurassic World is the way to do it. A lot of the things in Jurassic World are amazing. like baby dinosaur petting zoo. You have those little orbs going through herbivore area. You have people trying their best to keep everything under control, and other people telling them they're stupid. And money, money, money. It's the constant message of these films. Money gets in the way. We're gonna turn the raptors into weapons. Like, is it a tired cliche thing? Is it just something we expect? Yes, but just because it's a cliche, just because we expect it, doesn't mean it isn't fun to watch. It doesn't mean it's not engaging. It doesn't mean they can't make it engaging. And they did everything they could. Like I think there could have been more scenes with Doctor Wu and I can't think of the character's name. The big old fat guy who tried to like the Raptors. He got his comeuppance, but like another scene with those two together, I think would have been made the movie a bit better. But I like Jurassic World. I like it a little bit more, just a little bit more than Lost World, just the tiniest bit. Obviously Jurassic Park S tier, Lost World A plus. I think S minus for Jurassic. They, they everything was against them, and they gave a product that was good. Jurassic World made me wish the park in that movie was real. Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's the one thing it had over the original Jurassic Park. No shade on the original Jurassic Park movie. Again, iconic, but like, would you realistically want to go to that park more than once? Really think about that. Like, whereas this park that they made at Jurassic World is basically just Disney, but better. Like, you got rides, you got petting zoos, you got all these attractions, all these restaurants. Oh, we're gonna go feed the T Rex. Everyone go hide in this log. Oh, yo, way to go! Yeah. And versus the Jurassic Park, original movie park, where like, what do you have? Well, you got this visitor center in the beginning, where you gonna have this wonderful dining experience and go through this little ride exhibit. That's cool. What else? Oh, a car tour. That it? Yeah, that's basically it. I don't care if I get eaten by a T Rex. That's how I go. That's how I go. All right, all right. So we're gonna send Griffin to Jurassic Park, and he's gonna get eaten by a T Rex because that's what he wants to do. Hey, you heard it here. But to move back to Jurassic World, it also gave us the mosasaur, and which is something every dinosaur freak, and myself included, one is like, let's look at the aquatic stuff. Let's look at the flying ones. Which side note, Jurassic Park 3, positive for that one. Gave us pteranodons and pterosaurs. Fucking A. And now, like flying ones seem to be like a staple of the series because you had the all the little flying ones swarming in Jurassic World, and in Extinction you had all the small ones, and you had the Quetz scene with the Quetz, and now you have another scene with another Quetz, and it's going to be in the new movie. Flying the little pteranodons becoming a staple, and it started with well JP3. Give credit's due, people. Yeah, and there is and then there's also I'm just gonna outright say this. Jurassic World has a cameo from Jimmy Buffett, and everyone pointed that out to me as if I was supposed to know this little guy in the corner is Jimmy Buffett. Like I feel like I get gaslit every time someone brings it up. Like everyone just knew right away, and I was supposed to know right away. I was like, what are you doing? He has two margaritas. A lot of people can have two margaritas. People are drunk. Once they see it, they can't unsee it. It's like, I guess it's just like every time people have brought it up to me asking me if I knew, I feel like they all knew right away, and they think I was supposed to know right away. Like it's some obvious thing. It's not really that obvious. But that's a little my bone to pick with the Jimmy Buffett cameo in Jurassic World. Yeah, if you, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you know, you know. It's not as obvious as some people like to think. Nor is it as like impressive as some people like to think. But that guy with the two margaritas, that's Jimmy Buffett. Okay, that's how I feel about that. Now, sequel to Jurassic World, Dominion. That one started something that we're seem to be exploring heavily in Extinction and Now Rebirth. And that's the really good diving deep into the cloning or Fallen Kingdom. Wait, which one's Extinction? Or did I just Berenstein Bears myself? I thought it was Jurassic World, Dominion, and Extinction. I guess there is no Extinction. I guess it's, yeah, Fallen Kingdom and then Dominion. Huh. Where did I get Extinction from? Oh, right. Wasn't that a working title for the third one? That's probably what it was. That's what it was. Okay, that's why like a working title, which sounds better. Or was that a game? It could have been a game. But yeah, Fallen Kingdom. I'm gonna be honest. I like what it was trying to do. I like that it was trying to be different. I like the Indoraptor, but I don't necessarily love the execution because I don't think it went far enough with like what kind of dinosaurs these kind of unsavory types would actually get if during this auction. Like, well, for instance, oh, we need to. Honestly, if I were like a foreign country trying to make a weapon, the Indoraptor, yes, would be at the top of the list, obviously, but like beyond the Indoraptor, I would save money for a compy. And I know that sounds weird, but when you think about it, it's like compies are just dinosaur rats that you could potentially tame. They're more tameable than rats, and that's where their danger is. Just imagine a little horde of compies goes and nips you just to spread some disease and then runs out. That, that seems so much more useful if you want to like do some covert shit. Sure, you might break the Geneva Convention, but obviously these people don't care about laws. I'll say this much: Fallen Kingdom is when the really dumb complaints from fans really started, and as such, I will vehemently defend it. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I some of what they did in basically when it's once the auction ended, from there on, everything that happened in the mansion and after the what the ultimate resolution was, I will just say I'm not. I didn't hate it. I just don't know. It's not quite as far as like Lilo and Stitch, where I'm just like, I'm very conflicted. I I know you're not who I'm talking. I also know that some people criticize the little girl's decision at the end of the movie for opening the gate. I don't think when you really like zoom out to her perspective and even zoom out to the wider problem at large here, like this was a microcosm of bullshit, and a whole bunch of unsavory types got a bunch of dinosaurs anyway. They were gonna get out. They were gonna get exposed. Like all she did was like save what few dinosaurs she could because she was being a she sympathized with them as being a clone. So I get why people blame her and they said she made a stupid decision. I I disagree with her decision, but I don't blame her for doing it. I guess is my stance. And the fact that that makes a moral dilemma to me shows that at least for that character they had good writing. And the fact that she's able to make a decision and I have to think, oh man, was that the right choice? Ooh, like that's not a clear cut thing. Like she made her justification and it makes it look fair, like a sense. Like She's a clone. Spoilers a bit if you haven't seen the movie. Sorry, I don't like giving spoilers. I know it's accidental, but eh. But just but as that aside, just what I also want to give it to like this actual scenes of the Indoraptor stalking everyone in the mansion. I don't know. Like it didn't quite it filled me with dread for a bit, but it didn't take long for that dread to wear down, if that makes sense. Especially when Blue came back into the picture. Because then the solution came very evident. Like, all right, everyone stay together, stay by Blue, and Blue will attack, and I'll fire my gun. It's one of those things that it seems dire, but very quickly they get a pretty clear solution to this, and I don't know. But I do like the Indoraptor itself. I would like to see the Indoraptor or some variations of it in more Jurassic media. I like how smart and just sadistic it was because it was playing with its food. But as but while everything in the mansion leaves me generally positive, but mostly conflicted. I will say everything on the island, however, I like. When them getting the dinosaurs off the island erupting, loading dinosaurs onto the boat, thinking it's a humanitarian mission, trying to flee the baryonyx that totally is freaking dead. Um, I loved those scenes. I loved everything there. The whole big stampede, and yeah, dinosaurs are eating other ones because they're wild animals. I really like that whole sequence. So like it's one that I like just because of the scenes in the beginning. I could honestly say I do like it more than JP3 because it does more things right. But it's not. They make some decisions on where to take the story and how to present the situation in the mansion that I don't know. Turn boat back around, god damn it! If you know, you know. That they couldn't. They couldn't, Griffin. Let the Bronto move on. It's okay. He's in a better place. Yeah. But after Fallen Kingdom, then you do have Dominion. Dominion, I do think was had least cohesive story of the second trilogy, just because it very much was dinosaurs go crazy. Get the dinosaurs to this new sanctuary, so they start going crazy. There's a giga, and now all these people are here. Nostalgia. Like it's basically the story. Like as simple as I can make it, it's more complicated than that. I know it is, but obviously the big draw for this one, there was the blind Therizinosaurus, there was the Giganotosaurus, there was the Quetzal, whole bunch of dinos I've never used before, and that tells me that they are actually starting to experiment with the more obscure stuff because the Jurassic franchise has had that big of an impact on people. Like I too, as a kid, spec'd into dinosaurs as my preferred fandom. I get it. So So yeah, Dominion. I love the variety of dinosaurs. Yeah, great dinosaur variety. I wish some scenes were longer. I do agree. I think the scene in basically after they free all the underground dinosaur fighting rinks and the dinosaurs swarming that little city, I think that could have been longer. I think we could have used more shots of dinosaurs in the city, of dinosaurs actually interacting with human civilization before we revert to that little sanctuary, especially because the draw of the film was dinosaurs and humans. All of the marketing was like you had the T Rex roaring at the lion in the zoo. You had like the mosasaur at the beach from the last movie. Like that was the draw of the film. But considering that was the draw, it felt weird that it felt like the movie could have used more of it. And I do think that is a fair criticism of the movie, considering the marketing beforehand. But even with that being said, like I said, I don't hate it. It's still fun as heck, and is obviously not trying to be taken as seriously as previous movies. There's no real reason for them to cut out the prologue, by the way. The extended cut should be the only cut. Oh, yeah, no, it's agreed. Yeah. But that's my general thoughts on the franchise. I generally love all of them. Like JP3 and Fallen Kingdom are the ones I'm like, the most about, because like JP3 has like despite its good things, it's have a few annoying characters and slow poor pacing moments, and Fallen Kingdom has just not a personal narrative choice I would have done with the mansion, especially considering they just open the door back up. Next movie feels like a weird thing. But that being said, I love the Jurassic Park. There's not a movie in this series that I could just say I don't like. I'm very excited to see Rebirth because it obviously the last Jurassic World movies tried to make it a little more complicated for better or for worse, and I think that's why the new ones are so divisive. Couple that with just the general people are freaking Puritans, and they're like, "No, my Jurassic Park from the 1990s, the only one. You can't do it again." Like that aside, those annoyances, but I do think there's some fair criticisms about the new Jurassic World movies, and maybe making certain plot points more complicated than they really need to be. But yeah, that's it. But that being said, the new Jurassic World, it looks very straightforward, honestly, like more akin to like Lost World or the what's it called, or the original Jurassic Park. It's just, hey, there's a disease. We need to go to Dinosaur Island, get some samples to help cure the disease. That's it. That is the movie. That is the premise they pitched in the trailer. And the island they're going to is basically some early experiments to cause some little muddy bullshit. So there's dinosaurs we've never seen before because no one's ever seen them before. They're back to being creative instead of following like adhering to real slash fictional science. I am excited for the potential of Rebirth. I hope y'all's is too. And with that, I think it's time to go to our closing thoughts, yeah. Whew. I lightning through that. We're about to go to the last ad break, and I hope y'all are excited for the movie too. How much time do we have before the ad break? If you're watching this on Twitch, because I want to. Okay, no, I got time. Should be able to get to this before the ad break really starts. But uh, I mentioned this last time. This week, there's a few things happening. Like, there's not going to be as much because with Tudum happening and everything, I think a lot of the streaming trailers are past. But there is some animated movie announcements coming from Warner Brothers because they have their Annecy Film Festival going on, and they have been heavily teasing something Cartoon Network related. So, with that being said, as for the next episode of the Kino Corner, episode 31. Oh, that's not what I wanted to hit. Like, we're doing a Cartoon Network show tier list. We already talked it briefly about pre 2006 Cartoon Network when the golden age. I'm going to try to adhere to that same point because there's a lot of shows. There's obviously going to be a little bit of bleed in, so it's probably going to be include things like Ben 10, and it really depends on what tier list I find and have to edit. I have a few guests in mind for this one. I am going, whether I include Toonami, I don't know, but the next time will be another dive into Cartoon Network discussing like more specific shows, how I feel about them in relation to each other. This is gonna be like Godzilla. Like if I could have my way, a lot of these are gonna be S tier, but I'm gonna try to be fair. I'm gonna try it because like Sheep in the Big City. I know is one that I'm just like, okay, if I'm gonna be fair, that's like a C or D tier because it wasn't that good. Like I'm gonna try to be fair about these shows, but know that a lot of them are gonna be A or S tier, like Samurai Jack. Oof, mwah. It's something that I would like to do again for like Jetix and Kids WB. And also, I will say now, and I'm also going to say in the beginning of the show, while this largely depends on what tier lists are available, I basically use Tier Maker and lists people have made and try to make my own if need be. But if there is a show that came to Cartoon Network later, but originally aired on Kids WB, so I'm thinking like Shaolin Showdown, Jackie Chan Adventures, I'm open to talking about them, but they're I'm gonna probably go for not. Like if I find a list that has everything I want to talk about and like and Jackie Chan Adventures, I'll probably use that list. But don't expect shows like that. Expect mostly Cartoon Network original. Expect original programming with a few sprinkles extra. But with that, I'd like to thank you all for listening to my ramblings for the past while. I was able to burn through all of that Tudum news and just talk nonstop for the past hour and a half. Hmm. Time flies when you're having fun. Yes. Hope you all excited for next time, and I will see y'all later.